You really couldn't make this up sometimes. Not the initial bit I'm going to tell you about, but the response from Russell Quirk. Oh dear. Right, well, anyway, let's just explain what's happening here. So, this is a production called Tambo and Bones, and it will be running from June 16 to July 15 at the Theatre Royal, Stratford East in London. And this is what the play is about. Tambo and Bones are stuck in a minstrel show. It's hard to know what's real when you're stuck in a minstrel show. Their escape plan: get out, get rich, get even. Join Tambo, Rashan Stone, and Bones, Daniel Ward, on their journey from comedy double act to hip hop superstars to activists in America at the epicenter of the global Black Lives Matter movement. Tambo and Bones laughs through our past, blows the roof off our present, and imagines an explosive future for our world and for theatre. Right, so the reason why this play is kicking up a stink, we have to go down here to the performance on July 5th. What's been described as a blackout performance. Now, so let's come over to Indie 100's website because they're going to explain what a blackout performance is. Theatre Royal Stratford East, an off-West End theatre in London, has upset conservatives after they learned one showing of the comedy play Tambo and Bones has been listed as a blackout performance, taking place on July 5th. The special performance is, quote, arranged for black audience members specifically, unquote, and while, quote, no one is excluded from attending, unquote, non-black individuals are asked to, quote, consider attending another performance, unquote. And to be clear, there are 28 other performances they can go to. So what exactly is a blackout performance? First trialled on Broadway back in September 2019 for a production of Slave Play, the show's playwright Jeremy O. Harris came up with the idea to create an environment, quote, in which an all-black identifying audience can experience and discuss an event in the performing arts, film, athletic and cultural spaces free from the white gaze, unquote. And it turned out to be pretty popular. A second blackout performance was scheduled for the final performance of Slave Play at the Golden Theatre in the US, before Harris brought the idea across the pond for his play Daddy, which played at London's Almeida Theatre last year. Now, Tambo and Bones has decided to adopt the initiative, with playwright Matthew Zia saying, quote, over the past few years, a number of playwrights and directors in the US and the UK have created private safe spaces for black theatregoers to experience productions that explore complex, nuanced, race-related issues. I felt that with a play like Tambo and Bones, which unpicks the complexity of black performance in relation to the white gaze, it was imperative that we created such a space. So, Indie 100 has put together some especially relevant tweets. So the Telegraph tweeted, a theatre has urged white people not to attend a play, arguing that its audience should be free from the white gaze. So this person here, Xanthus Stan account, has quote tweeted that alongside paywalled with an inflammatory headline to incite anti-black racism towards the cast and crew. They're doing one blackout performance for black audiences, and if white people turn up, they actually can't turn them away. There are 28 other performances anyone can attend. This person, Ryan Carter, if you're a producer programming work centered around black trauma, bake a blackout into your campaign already. They clearly don't happen enough if people are this pressed. And Stratford East tweeted themselves, Blackout Night is an initiative which started on Broadway and has been taken up by several London theatres, the spirit of which is congregation, celebration and healing. Tambo and Bones, staged at Stratford East, is a bold new play, a satire which actively explores race and what it is to be black. We have chosen to embrace this initiative for one performance during the play's month-long run, as a space for black audiences to experience the play as a community. So my opinion on this is glaringly obvious. It's absolutely fine. Considering the subject matter of the play, how can anybody take issue with the black community having one night to celebrate the performance without bigots occupying the front row. With that in mind, I bring you Russell Quirk. Yes, Quirk the Berk's highly triggered response, which is so ridiculous it has to be seen to be believed. This guy is a real piece of work. Let's take a look.
Yes, good morning, David. We all should be, shouldn't we? And I guess my question to you is racism ever okay, even when it's so-called positive discrimination? And my view on that is that no racism and no discrimination is okay. We'd all agree with that, wouldn't we?
I would totally agree with that. And when I first read it, I thought it was totally unacceptable. Imagine if you had a performance in a theatre that said only, no black people or only white people are allowed to see this performance. That would be totally unacceptable.
Yeah, can you imagine a whites-only cinema evening or something? And this is at a time when we constantly see headlines where everything is racist. Museums are racist, statues are racist, history is racist. And then we've got this situation, which I'm sure with good intention by way of the theatre company and the theatre itself. They probably have good intention here, but what they're doing is accentuating and exaggerating division in doing so. So, David, when I saw this yesterday, I decided that I would ensure that this particular performance on July the 5th is one of diversity. So there were a number of front row tickets still available on their website yesterday. I've bought them all.
Right, okay. You put your money where your mouth is.
I have. And if anyone wants to join me to make sure that this is a diverse mix from an ethnicity perspective, as all things should be, and we should embrace ethnicity, we should embrace diversity, not try to cause division as this theatre is doing. If anyone wants to join me, come along.
So when is this, tonight?
No, July the 5th.
July the 5th, sorry, yes, I read that out. So I mean, and just in terms of that, how's that going to go down? They're trying to create this one-off event, and you've ruined it.
Well, I guess, but it's like Mrs. Parks on the back of the bus, isn't it? So I'm making a stand as she did. I'm not trying to suggest that my stand here, where this particular theatre is concerned, is similar to that as such. But we have to make a stand, and we have to ensure that, look, all racism, even if it's well-intended, even if it's by way of positive discrimination, that it's not acceptable, that it's stamped out. So no wonder there's uproar. No wonder there's lots of people that are very miffed about this. It's draconian, frankly, and it really does nothing to help the cause of trying to ensure that cultures within Britain can weld together, exist together, and be harmonious.
Russell, thank you very much indeed. Russell Quirk there, Talk TV presenter. Claire.
Yeah, you really did hear that right. He did just compare himself to Rosa Parks. Yes. In addition to being a narcissist, Quirk the Berk is probably the most unpleasant person on Talk TV, and that is saying something, because there is a lot of unpleasant people on that channel. There's a couple of things I know for certain, however. Rosa Parks had courage and bravery, whereas Russell Quirk has none of the above. So there's no way he will be turning up to that performance on July 5th. His sole purpose for doing this is to piss off black people, because this is never a show he would have taken any interest in prior to the culture war obsessed mainstream media thrusting it into the atmosphere. In fact, I can say with a certain degree of confidence he would have scoffed at the show after reading the synopsis. Either way, whether he attends or not, he will ruin the evening of some of the black community, and he will likely delight in that. For those in attendance, should he actually turn up, they will be aware he makes his money from being a race-baiting grifter on Talk TV. And for those not in attendance, who really wanted to attend, they now cannot, because this Berk has booked all the best seats. Which, let's face it, will likely remain unfilled, because I am absolutely certain he has no backbone whatsoever to back up his big mouth. You know what? He may well be the worst of a bad bunch on Talk TV. A truly vile individual we have on our hands here. And he makes my skin crawl. Imagine how utterly without shame he has to be to compare himself to Rosa Parks. Deary, deary me. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, all of that. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.